On Thursday, Donald Trump held a cabinet meeting. That, of course, was nothing more than all of the people he's picked to run this administration with him sitting there telling him how great and awesome and super cool he truly is. And of course, the whole thing was televised because God forbid Donald Trump do anything when there's not a camera right there to catch every second of his life. This whole thing is literally just the worst reality show that has ever been produced in the history of the United States. That's what we are dealing with this administration, because everything has to be on camera. Everybody has to be camera ready, no matter how hideous and disgusting you look. But during this cabinet meeting, they all took turns, as they always do, telling the camera how awesome Donald Trump is. And each of them, of course, this time specifically had something within their realm of control that they had to praise Trump for. Pete Hegseth praised Trump for Venezuela, and also, by the way, insulted every single person who has ever served in the United States military, ever. Hegseth said this about Trump's sacking of Venezuela. No other military in the world could have executed the most sophisticated, powerful raid, not just in American history, I would say in world history. The kidnapping of dictator Nicolas Maduro was the most successful and the most strategic military operation in the history of the fucking world, according to Pete Hegseth. Sure, there's a lot of D-Day veterans who would like to have a word with Pete Hegseth right about now, because that is insulting to every single person that has ever put on that uniform. Past, present, and future. That's how insulting that statement was. He is insulting people that haven't even been born yet with this insane claim. Howard Lutnick, Commerce Secretary, said Trump is, quote, fixing everything. Howard Lutnick praised Trump, saying, "You are fixing everything with your policies. You have changed America and created the golden age." For whom? Who's doing better? Right? I'm not. Y'all aren't. Grocery prices aren't. Cost of literally everything else also not doing well. Even the top 1%, every time Trump gets mad and attacks Jerome Powell on True Social, the stock market tanks. They lose a ton of money. He has not fixed anything. He has made everything worse. And by everything, what I mean is, of course, everything. You can't point to a single thing in the United States that's better today than it was a year and a half ago. But these disgusting, pathetic, worthless human beings going around the table telling lies that they know are lies just to keep this giant, dementia-riddled diaper baby happy. Kelly Loeffler, small business administrator, said this: "Under your leadership, you've ended at least 8 wars, but probably the most important and underreported war that this president ended was Joe Biden and the Democrats' war on Main Street and hard-working families." Scott Bessent said, "We've got gains in wages, low prices, and I think 2026 is going to be the year of the Trump boom. It's going to be a supply-side boom. I enjoyed the trip out to Iowa. In the diner, the staff there was thanking you for the no tax on tips, and they're expecting big refunds from that." There's nobody in this administration I loathe more than Scott Bessent. And it's because of his arrogance. This multi-millionaire with a net worth of north of $200 million is like, prices are down. No, they're absolutely not, you lying sack of shit. They're not. Wages are up, but the gains in wages have been outpaced by inflation. So even though you may be making more, you're spending even more to the point where you'd have been better off with no inflation and no wage gains. You'd have more money left in your pocket. You left that part out, you absolute numbskull. They're thanking you for no tax on tips. They're going to get huge refunds for that. Oh, you're making me wish April were already here, buddy. I can't wait. Do you guys realize what kind of videos we are going to see put out from these MAGA supporters that are like, he said no tax on tips and now I still have to pay $8,000 in taxes. Oh, he lied. We were hosed. We've been bamboozled. Who could have seen it coming? Do you know how I know that's going to happen? Because it's already happening with the folks who thought no tax on overtime. And they've been putting out videos like, he lied to us again. Oh, God. Yeah, and he's going to keep doing it, and you're going to keep believing it because you're all deeply stupid people, and you deserve all of the discomfort that you're getting. And I hope you all get screwed. I hope you all get your tax bills after you file and owe tens of thousands of dollars. I hope your lives are ruined the same way you have ruined the lives of so many others with your vote in 2024. You deserve nothing less. I wish for you what you wish for other people. How about that? Then you had Energy Secretary Chris Wright. He said, and this beautiful clean coal was the MVP of the huge cold snap we're in right now. I can say with some confidence, hundreds of American lives have been saved because of your leaning in and stopping the killing of coal and revitalizing coal. I spent over a decade as an environmental reporter. One of the things specifically that I covered was this so-called war on coal talking point from Republicans, and it never existed. It wasn't a thing that actually ever happened. Coal production, coal exploitation in the United States would rise and fall, but not due to policies from any administration, Republican or Democrat. It was due to the fact that sometimes we ended up with what they would call a glut, meaning we got too much coal extracted. So we're going to scale back the companies that fund Republicans and the think tanks that put out these talking points. They scaled back operations, because coal was either no longer profitable due to the glut or no longer profitable because it was too expensive. So they would scale back operations and then lay people off. And then the Republicans would be like, oh no, there's a war on coal. Look what Obama did. Look what Biden did. But it wasn't them. It was the companies themselves. Then, to cap it all off, you had Donald Trump promise that he was going to keep housing prices exorbitant for Americans. Millions of Americans have already reported, I'm struggling to afford my rent, I'm struggling to pay my mortgage, and millions more are saying, I can't even afford to buy a house. And Trump came out and literally said, I want to keep housing prices high. Here's what Trump said. Existing housing, people that own their home, we're going to keep them wealthy. We're going to keep those prices up. We're not going to destroy the value of their homes so that somebody that didn't work very hard can buy a home. So if you don't own a home, by the way, in the eyes of this a-hole serving as president of the United States, if you don't own a home, it's because you are not a hard worker. Get off your butt, you lazy piece of crap. It's a hell of a message to give to voters in a midterm year, but it is the message that Donald Trump sent out nevertheless. He continued. There's so much talk of, oh, we're going to drive housing prices down. I don't want to drive housing prices down. I want to drive housing prices up for people that own their homes. And they can be assured that's what's going to happen. If you drive housing prices up for existing homeowners, that in no way benefits the homeowner unless they want to sell their house. You've driven the price up. How? I don't know. I mean, you don't necessarily control what a house is valued at during appraisal, but the cost of my house, right? The price of it going up doesn't affect me unless I want to sell it. but it makes it harder for me to sell it if the price has gone up too much. So all the people out there without money who already couldn't afford housing can't buy my house because Trump made the prices go up. It looks good on paper. It's absolutely horrific and devastating in practice. And that's the problem with this administration. Everything looks good on paper. You can make anything look good on paper. But in practice, it all falls apart. But folks, that was the cabinet meeting from Thursday. Fawning, lies, disgusting, like sucking up. I'm sure everybody left there with, the taste of boot in their mouth. But luckily, it was all caught on video because God forbid we miss a single episode of this horrible reality show we're all having to live through. Thanks for watching, and if you are not already subscribed to the channel, please do so, and do not forget to like and comment and share widely among your friends.